And so just to be able to see these 15-star wars and hit rates exceeding all expectations, keep in mind that this is a very, very difficult thing to accomplish that takes a lot of experience, practice, and the ability to keep your head on straight when it all matters most in these super tough matches. Vanguard Gaming is going to be moving in next with Nebo at the helm of this attack, and wow, has he really changed up the playbook for today, finally going back down to the ground with a golem to lead out for these 5 super bowlers. They are looking for a strike against a base, holding on to a lot of different spells, even brought an earthquake in there, possibly to activate, or I'm not quite sure what for, but also a jump spell to hurdle over some of those tight compartments in the middle.
Yeah, and it's just really cool to see that we're finally seeing some ground. I mean, we have seen already Queen Charge Hybrid a little bit, but Super Bowl is not that much, even though they're just so popular. Like, if you're taking a look at Legends, they're one of the top 4 most used strategies if you're taking a look at, like, the top 200 or something within the Legend League. So, they're really powerful, but at the same time, not used that often in those pro matches. And take a look at that. This Warden needs another raid, and he has already crossed the 2-minute mark. This Warden Walk is already going on for over 1 minute. Typically, you say, okay, Warden Walk, as soon as you're getting close to 1 minute, it's already a little bit too long. And he's Warden Walking already like for 1.5 minutes, and now he has started with the Super Bowlers. Time is going to be an issue, Woody.
This is often the problem that every ground attack comes into, especially when they are designed to go the distance, like Super Widgets or Super Bowlers. They have so many hit points, very beefy, and especially when you stick a golem out in front, there's almost nothing that can kill them. The problem, in fact, becomes 3 stars within 3 minutes, and with Nebo having just over a minute left and still 60% of the base left to deal with, he's going to have to go lightning quick. Something that is very difficult when you've got a Lava Hound popping right overhead, and even with a pretty impressive spread on these Hog Riders, they are going to have to really target onto a lot of defenses very quickly in order to make it to the backside. I'm not feeling bullish about a 3-star here.
Yeah, the 3-star seems to be out of reach. Not even time is the issue, it's just power really falling short on this one. That might be the thing why we do not see those Super Bowlers too often on those anti-3-star bases. They're typically really incredible well on those Legend-style bases where the Super Bowlers have a lot of time long LAs to walk along, like long compartments. But in this one, it did really not pay off, and that is an incredible defense for Space Station. Below 70% is something which you have not seen too often today. And this means I think Space Station is going to be really happy about this one.
Yeah, this is really quite an incredible upset on defense. Not even just getting the 2-star to hold off, but holding that overall damage so far down. The 2-star misses that we've seen so far have really been pretty high percentage overall, especially in that first war we saw between the Queen Walkers and Space Station, scoring still in the 90s, 94 percentage. But this time down into the 60s really leaves a lot to be hoped for in future strikes by this Vanguard lineup. Still, I do want to give credit where it is due to the defender here. Nebo has been called a bowler god among those in chat right now, and I can clearly see why. Making it this far in the tournament with an undefeated record 2-0, you would certainly expect to see something strong and interesting like that surprise and get the victory, but not this time around. In fact, the defenses are able to hold up very well for our defending lineup here, and I think that this is going to be the opportunity now to just kind of take the runaway victory here. Vanguard Gaming didn't have the favorite in the poll chat, and you know all the numbers were pointing the other way. It looks like this is where that starts to materialize, Itsu.
Yeah, it's not all about if Space Station is follow up as they used to, right? Like, Space Station is incredible consistent on their offense, and we have seen they are incredibly consistent on their defensive side as well. And now I'm really looking forward to see what this next attack is going to be. We are seeing another Queen Judge Lalo and Woody. It's 30 balloons overall. That is just an insane amount of balloons in one Queen Judge Lalo attack. I'm really looking forward to see how he is going to use them.
Yeah, very much more often in the past, we would see 3 Lava Hounds, 4 Lava Hounds in some old school attacks, but in the recent years, Lalo pushes have gone consistently more and more toward heavy balloon compositions, focusing on that big offensive damage rather than just letting those big floaty guys soak up shots in the meantime. I think the reasoning for that is that if you get the perfect pathing, if you have the ability to break down a base in your mind, if you know exactly where those loons are going to go, you don't even really need to wait for them to path over their targets. They're going to get exactly where they need to be right when they need to be there. Holding on to rages and freezes as well is a good way to boost up the speed and offensive power of those attacks. It's sort of an all or nothing approach, to be honest. If you have more lava loons, you're going to last longer, but will you have enough damage to get the finishing blow? Leo is going to roar, lion, roar straight through that left compartment and knock down the big town hall for the first star to be claimed. Following up with the Laloon strike up in the top corner. How's it going, Itsu?
Yeah, now it's again this Warden ability Lalo, or more like Warden ability just loons. It's not even a hound in front of those loons on the top side, it's just the Lalo with the Warden ability, and then sending in the Lalo from the far left side to push everything through the core, make sure everything is finishing on this back end compartment, and that's what the King is now coming in. He's sending in the King to tank this defending scatter shot, tank this tank those defending defenses and share the damage, because at this point it's important that damage is on his queen, damage is on his king, and this means the damage is split up, which is, well, not enough damage to take any of those two down, and this looks like another 3-star Woody.
Yeah, denying splash damage value is super important, especially when you've got something like an Eagle Artillery firing away at you. That is what killed our last attack from Nepo. Eagle Artillery at the very end side of the base, just raining down Hellfire for the entire attack. Instead, this time, Leo was able to redirect those blows onto heroes, keep them off the main packs of the attack, kept those balloons spread out, and there was really no way for the defending buildings there to be able to concentrate enough fire to take down this attack. Instead, Leo's going to have an overwhelming victory now with another 3-star scored by Space Station Gaming. That gives them the lead now on a 6-5 scoreline. That I don't expect to see reversing anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a really solid lead, and I'm just checking at the same time if we see any other results. We have actually GS versus Queen Walkers. There was another match which was really solid. It's 5-5, both teams with 1 fail each. And the one match you were looking forward to was Crit Region versus Tristella.
Back over the top. And they're doing it again! Itsu onto the ground floor. They have descended with Super Witches this time. Another slow-going attack, which has a lot of trouble passing the 3-star point at the 3-minute mark. But can they get it done against a base that is super spread out? Once again, it looks like Selena's defenses are pretty well set up to handle this sort of strike. Big value opportunity for the Lava Launcher, though, getting lots of defenses down that are out of range. That is exactly the sort of thing that you want to see with Super Witches to start with. And if you can just get this Warden Walk to kind of cruise on in, there we go. That should be a Town Hall down.
Yep, that's right, and at the same time, the Flame Flinger can now work all the way to the top right side. He doesn't even need to take down the tunnel with the Warden. He can just rely on this Flame Flinger because there is no Builder Huts behind this Town Hall, so the Town Hall should go down somewhat quick. And then yet, at the same time, those Witches pushing in with those healers, with the Warden, with the Queen. But there's now the damage coming in, and as you said, time is always an issue with those troops. But with all of those open walls, this is something in his favor. During that time as well, the Flame Flinger keep firing, and it seems like he won't stop because there's no expo close, and that means the Flame Flinger should get a lot of more value. Wait, where's the one Super Witch going? Come back! No!
Oh,
the troops are splitting!
Far better to keep that firepower concentrated. At least she's got an Archer Queen to kind of help her out over there. Unfortunately, though, that Grand Warden is going to be losing out on some value. Only able to get 3 Super Witches over on that left side. Duel of the Archer Queens over on the right side. Gets a late free spell, but not too late. It is going to be victory for the attacking Archer Queen here now, as Davey from Vanguard Gaming is going to be making his way around, but with a big multi-target Inferno in the middle, kind of difficult to reach. He's going to have to rely on that one big boy who hopped the wall, as well as the Grand Warden to get a little bit of firepower over there onto that side. It does manage to happen, but with just 50 seconds left, he's really got to focus on speeding this attack up. Throw out that Royal Champion and get that shield going hard on that left corner because we need a lot of damage really quick here now. There's those builder huts trying to get some value on defense, repairing those buildings, but I think that with the death of this Royal Champion, there is just not going to be enough firepower to finish this thing off, Itsu.
Yeah, that was unfortunate with the split up troops. I think the start looked promising. I was already about to say, are those healers now healing the unicorn? That would be kind of funny. But the Town Hall dive with the Warden, with the Flame Flinger, I think looked really solid. Just the follow up with the Super Witches and the Queen splitting off into a different direction than he was expecting. Completely messed up the entire plan, and then the Royal Champion without any support on the back end really struggled quite a bit. So another strong defense now for Space Station, which means they're looking in a prime position to be one of the first two teams of getting into the stage 4, into the final stage of this Clash of Clans qualifier. And that's where those teams want to get to. And they're up next again. They can really get now a 2-star lead with a really solid percentage lead as well.
If we're looking purely at hit rates, thanks again to the stats provided by Chase the Ace, and the favorite attacks used by top teams, it really should seem like a playbook obvious move to pick an aerial attack. Blizz Lalo, QC Lalo, Sui Lalo, like the Mass Rider Lalo somehow. It's always something that has to do with attacking from the skies and then supporting it in one way or another. Zap Lalo, E-Drags. It's like all these top teams are relying on aerial hits. And so I'm really curious as to why Vanguard now twice in a row has come back in on the ground. You really have to have a good sense that the base is particularly vulnerable to something that can go all the way to 3 stars in 3 minutes. But, you know, as we're saying that, we do see a little bit of a mix-up here now from Marinel bringing in a Golem to support this Archer Queen instead of the standard healers to top her off. He wants to get that Town Hall over on the left side and maybe even get some additional value with his CC pullout before he starts off with this La Lune. But I'm feeling once again that Marinel has got a good opportunity here now to get to the 3-star because he's brought a good army comp. He's got a solid plan attacking from multiple different angles in this first stage of the hit, and he ought to get down the key targets necessary to justify the value investment here. Town Hall is now under lock and it is about to be destroyed.
Yes, that's right. The Royal Champion even is protected with the invisibility spell to stay alive a little bit longer to take down those lava pups. Another invisibility spell used for that attacking queen, which, I mean, she's running down to the town of poison, so not more value on that side. But the Lalo has just started. It's 2 multi-inferno towers though, which he has to get through. And the Lalo starting from 2 flanks because he wants to make sure that this defending queen is taken care of. With those headhunters and the vulnerability, that should be no problem. And the defending queen is going down, Woody.
A triplet of free spells still yet left to use, and Marinel is happy to distribute them aggressively now to help these balloons against those multi-target infernos. That last one still remaining in the center of the base will get the attention of that final freeze, but oh, not good timing on that freeze, unfortunately, as the balloons instead path toward the outside. Needs to get that haste spell down so that that middle section can be eliminated quickly, but honestly, he's got so much overkill now, I'm not worried about it at all. Marinel looking for 3 stars now as the last defensive building goes down, and with a minute for cleanup, Space Station will get another triple and continue their march toward a perfect war against Vanguard Gaming. Up on the top and not going to surrender their position at the head of this hill. Space Station Gaming look cleared to advance to stage 4, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right. It's just, I mean, for me, it's just out of this world. I mean, we had the same thing happening at the time where Tribe Gaming qualified and then Strat. They were just statistic-wise the best team at that current time. And right now, I feel like the same thing with Space Station. I mean, in stage 2, they have not 3-star in one of the attacks. 14 out of 15 of their attacks were 3 stars. Now in stage 3, again, so far they have missed out only on one of their attacks in the matches played so far. So Space Station just looking incredible on offense. But what makes this even more impressive, they would not even need that offensive power because their defense is looking so strong as well, and this makes this even a more scary team. So overall, so far Space Station are looking really strong. And well, let's see if Vanguard can get 1 or maybe 2 more confidence 3 stars to make sure that in the next round, because if you would think they're now out, no, there were so far 2 wins, 0 losses. This would be their first loss. So they're still looking strong in this competition. They just have to make sure that they're staying strong on their mental side. So collect some more 3 stars and make sure the next rounds are yours. And this one is going to be a Queen Charge hybrid.
Definitely want to give a special shout out to Marinal on offense and now on defense, the captain of this Space Station Gaming lineup, having competed under previous banners including INTZ with his crew of Brazilian barbarians fighting alongside him all the way through. It looks like this might just be their year, as on defense now they're going to try once again to hold off against a ground attack from Vanguard Gaming. The hybrid army is going to be Miners and Hog Riders this time around, and has brought an eclectic mix of support here. That Siege Barracks is going to be even more firepower to help loop around the outer edge of that base, but bringing in a couple of headhunters too to help try to deal with that Queen and King duo over there in the left corner. Cobra has got a lot of work to do on this bottom corner, but with the Queen Charge still looking quite healthy, I think he's ready to kick it off into stage 2. Here comes the King, Itsu.
Yeah, here comes the King, funneling and pushing those hybrid troops into the scatter, freezing early, heal spell early as well to make sure that those troops are protected. And now we have to take a look. Are there spring traps? Yes, there's a lot of spring traps. Vulnerability can be used soon as well, and vulnerability nicely done to block all of the damage from the Eagle. But still, we have to take a look at the spring traps. The spring traps are one of the main sources in how to defend those hybrid attacks. But I feel like, is there even that many troops left? It's really hard to spot at this time.
Yeah, spring traps have been knocking off Hog Riders, and the Eagle Artillery has just been sniping those little piggies one at a time. Splash damage knocking onto additional targets, but with that down now and focusing on the last couple of multi-target Infernos, they are going to have the most important targets down. Scatter Shot still remaining in that top right compartment, however, is just getting so much blasting damage off onto these attackers that even with a good strike early on, I think they've just kind of withered away. Interestingly, Cobra has really focused on offense this time, bringing rage spells to try to get that damage in fast as he can. More often, these hybrid armies, and particularly Hog Riders, favor heal spells because they just don't have very many hit points. If you play into a trap, especially a giant bomb, or get a bad trigger time on a bomb tower, you can really just lose your entire army if you don't have a heal spell to top them back off again. It looks like, unfortunately for Cobra, that is what has happened with this attack, as the Queen Charge on the bottom now is the only remaining offensive attacker here, and with 20 seconds left, too much base remains to expect a triple out of this one. Space Station Gaming with a 2-star lead into this attack will now lead up to a potential 3-star advantage with their next strike, Itsu.
Yes, that's right. They're looking really strong so far. But again, as we have 3 attacks in on both sides, I think we want to take a look at a couple of the other matches as well, because there is some crazy matches happening. Because if we take a look at the lower bracket, we had Reported versus Valor Gaming. Right now, it's 8-8, but percentage lead is on Valor Gaming side, which means this might be Reported dropping out of this competition after just 3 matches. This would be incredible. As well, the other lower bracket match with Martial Warlord versus Blind eSport so far is 9-9. Both teams are perfect so far in 3 attacks each. So some crazy matches are happening in the background. Well, we are back to this match, Woody, because this one is pretty crazy as well with the performance Space Station is showing.
Yeah, Valor Gaming potentially slaying a giant here from Repotted as the number 2 seed. Repotted Gaming undefeated through the initial stages, just as having difficulty now through this Swiss bracket. But let's go back to Bernal now. The Space Station attacker is a veteran of this lineup and one of the highest hit rate scorers for this team as well. And he is going to be going tried and true back to the La Lune with some Queen Charge support out the left corner. That Eagle Artillery has got a good chance of going down before it even activates, thanks to Bernal's early attack out this corner. Dade from Vanguard Gaming not able to put up much of a defense against this clever sneak attack by Bernal on the left side, which is actually going pretty quick and pretty strong. think he's going to get some solid value here, and now deploys the lava launcher to get some additional shots off. Continues to send in coconut loons. Very good job there for Bernal to protect those healers. Trying to catch a Seeking Air Mine with those single loons that he fires off in the left side corner, but doesn't manage to get it this time. Instead gets a partial CC pull, and we'll have to deal with those headhunters with a freeze spell instead. There goes down the first one, and they'll be able to pop off one at a time, Mitsu.
Yes, that's right. Clan causes loot as well, and take a look at that timing. No damage on this queen at all while taking down the Lava Hound. I mean, there is no more perfect timing than this taking down the Lava Hound. The mortar, which is supposed to counter that Flameflinger, is going down as well, and this Flameflinger is looking incredible value-wise from the top side. King and Royal Chip now into the Tesla farm. Queen charging into that multi-inferno tower. Yes, the Rager, but this again is looking really strong, especially take a look at that. That wall break. This is from a different world. Wall breaking in between of those two inferno towers and having access to the entire back end. Bernal, how are you doing this? This is just insanity. This queen charge, wow.
Brilliant shots, but he's a little bit late to start off the loon charge here. Now he's just got 1 minute to clear off the second half of the base. I think he still has a good shot at making it happen, but he's focused a little bit more on finesse so far than that absolute power that we've seen from Space Station in the past. Nevertheless, the plan is going right off with barely a hitch. Tornado Trap does catch those loons, but that is to be expected, passing past the Town Hall. Does unfortunately lose quite a few of them here now, but with still so much firepower remaining, it's just a question of cleanup for the outer edges, and I think that he ought to have it now. Holding on to his Sneaky Goblin, and now pops that Archer Queen ability for a bit more extra DPS. Bernal has got 28 seconds left, and the buildings are going down. One by one, they fall.
I think this has to be the attack of the day for me personally. Like, just this queen charge was insane. With those wall breaks, he has opened the entire base. I feel like the Lalo was like for 3 buildings. I mean, the town was even going down from that queen. This was really impressive to watch. The King of Queen Charges doing his thing again, and you saw in this attack as well why for pro players or for top players in general this siege, this Flameflinger is so broken. The Flameflinger took down the entire top side without even opening. No other siege has the same power as this siege with the Flameflinger. It's just incredible, and it nearly survived to the end. It was not even needed with the Clan Castle troops coming out of it to essentially get this 3rd star. So impressive showing by Space Station in general, by Bernal particular with this attack. And now it's back to Vanguard, and I want to see more ground attacks. I mean, it's fun to watch the different approaches then, even though so far they have not worked out that great, sadly.
Yeah, right you are. And even with that nerf to the lava launcher, they reduced the direct damage just to increase the tick damage over time. It still seems to be among the most effective methods of getting lots of value spread across a big swath of the base. So it's up to Xykor now, going back to the skies with 7 dragons, 3 dragon riders, and interestingly an Electro Dragon to get some chain value out on the left side corner. Moving fast early on, though the battle blip is down already for a strikeout out of the Town Hall. Xykor has brought some Rage and Freeze common additions, and also a Skeleton spell maybe to distract that Archer Queen. To ensure that she goes down without too much of a fight. But the CC pull has already started. It's going to be a Lava Hound inside, trying to slow things down. Poison from that Giga Bomb has exploded, but there's nothing yet to deal with the CC troops. They're getting dragged to the top side now, where the Queen is going to catch some Teslas early on. The main size of this force, though, is big enough to handle almost anything, especially when you're able to pop that Grand Warden Eternal Tome nice and early into the attack. That's often what we see with these big Mass Dragon hits, but it looks like Xykor is going to hold on to it a little bit later, Itsu.
Yeah, so there we go with... And, oh my god, there's 4 ground skeleton traps popping up at this top side, so there's now an army of skeletons chasing this headhunter into the base, but those dragons are trying to push further, trying to avoid those traps, but there's now more traps coming up. And those double black mines were really hitting hard and making sure those dragons are disappearing slowly. More black mines and more dragons are disappearing.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with that invisibility spell out, he's going to soak some damage on that Dragon Rider from the Eagle Artillery, which is already shot. Xykor now cruising along the right side of this base is finding a bit more trouble than he was able to account for now. as multi-target Infernos seem to be the bane of most of these raids when you have kind of a mid-sized army of dragons, or whether you're bringing super bowlers or super witches, as we have seen before, you've got to keep those freezes on point the entire way through, or else just bit by bit you will be burnt to a crisp. One of the key reasons why I think we see a big favor for La Lune attacks is that they go so fast and deal so much damage quickly, they can knock down those key splash defenses that otherwise would just deal so much damage over time and leave you hanging in the end. Zykor still with a hope for the triple, but running a little bit low here. 40 seconds left and holding on to that queen ability. There's just kind of one leg left to the base, and might still have a chance to finish this off. What do you think, Itsu?
Yeah, the heroes are strong, we know that. The question now is if those 30 seconds are enough. Queen ability is getting used. That would be another 3-star for Vanguard if this queen is finishing things off, and that should be, I think, the case with the Yak coming in.
It's going to be really close.
14 seconds, the multi-mortar is staying alive for now, but the queen has to chase in. But remember, all skeleton traps are gone, so this queen should easily finish things off. And that means it's 4 seconds.
There it is! By the skin of his teeth, Zykor can save this raid with another 3 stars scored for Vanguard Gaming. That'll lead them up to 12 overall. That means that it is going to be a very easy task now for Space Station Gaming with just 1 more star to get the star advantage. But can they score a perfect finish in this round 3? A win here for Space Station means that they will be moving on to Stage 4, while Zykor still just needs 1 more victory in the next 2 wars if they were to suffer a defeat, which seems all but guaranteed by this point. Space Station just coming in over the top, holding off on defense after defense after defense now, and finally finding only 12 stars scored against them by Vanguard.
That's right. It's impressive showing so far, and it's 1 more attack now for Space Station, so I cannot wait what they're going to bring to the table one more time for them. And with that, they would be one of the first teams who are getting into the next stage, and that would be the important thing for this one. Just double checking as well some of the other matches happening at the same time, with Tristella actually scoring a 1 star, but we are in already with the next attack. We're going to wait with that for a little bit longer, but Space Station, Selenio is in, another Lalo attack, but this time a Golem is in the mix as well, Woody.
Yeah, we've seen a few golems be brought in to support these queen charges early on. It seems like if you just don't barely have enough support to add in healer charges for the queen, you can instead bring in a golem out in front. That'll give it a lot more time to take down some key defenses up on the top side, and even if the queen doesn't survive until the very end of the raid, you can be relatively certain that with that golem soaking shots and with the unicorn even topping the queen off a little bit to maybe a single point defense like this archer tower, she'll still be fine enough to finish her job, which in this case is going to be getting that CC pull knocked down and finishing off this archer tower as quickly as she can. Royal Cloak is popped right there to make sure that all the damage is dumped in, with 3 builders trying to repair that Town Hall. It is still not enough to overcome an archer queen with a mighty modified X-bow.
Yeah, the Lava Hound taken care of nicely without too much damage on that queen. Unicorn keeping her alive for now, so maybe she's going to be able to take down a few more buildings. And now the Lado has started into that Eagle. Hound in from the bottom side, and one thing which Space Station has done a lot, they're only playing 1, maybe 2 Lava Hounds, and that's it. They're mainly playing Loons with that Warning ability together, and that's again what they're doing on the far right side. Adding all of those Loons, just using the Warning ability, and they don't care about the Lava Hound. Why should they? They are just adding those Loons in and having Loons engaging versatile defenses from every single flank on this one.
Brilliant shots and not even having to worry at all about that single target Inferno when you've got a parade of balloons from the sky. So much overwhelming damage. He laughs in the face of red air bombs. Ha! 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 Celino with another triple for Space Station. The overwhelming victory now turns into a perfect war! Space Station Gaming advanced to Stage 4. Hot with a superb finish now in this war against Vanguard Gaming. Congratulations to both sides here, as Vanguard will get to move on with 2 more opportunities to score that 3rd and final victory. But we can now confirm that Space Station Gaming is the first among the teams in Stage 3 to be moving on, with only 1 more stage left between them and Helsinki, Finland, Itsu.
Yep, that's right. Space Station are looking unstoppable. I'm just double checking the other matches, what is happening over there. As I have said, Tristella, we have seen a 1-star from them, so it was a really close match overall over there, with them having a small lead, and then they have gotten the 1-star, finishing on 11 stars, but their opponent still have to get the safe 2-star, because they have so far 9 stars as well, 1 attack left. So it's a close match, surprisingly enough. While on the other side then, we have one of the most insane matches in the lower bracket. Martial Warlord versus Blind Esports. Blind Esports already with 15 stars. Martial Warlord, if you think now this match is over, no, it's not. Because Martial Warlord is having 12 stars out of 4 attacks, and they have a better average time. So if they're 3-star, they're going to win 15-15 and going to stay in the tournament, while Blind Esports would drop out of the tournament with 15 stars. This is just mind-blowing to me. I mean, it's crazy how many close matches we have. And, I mean, just wow. It's crazy matches happening at the same time.
I'm now furiously refreshing, trying to find the results to this round 3 match, because we've got the same stat score access that you do from the Tournament Hub in-game. Hope that you all check that out and get a chance to see these results as they unfold. But we're now watching, as you mentioned, Repotted and Valor Gaming down at the bottom, as Valor was having a good time in the early war with a chance to eliminate Repotted on an 0-3 scoreline for Repotted. While Martial Warlord and Blind Esports also have the opportunity to be eliminated here now by either team taking the victory over them. I'll also jump back to Martial's Kiss and Marcos Esports, 2 more teams that were top and undefeated with a 2-0 record in what we were calling the top bracket, the teams that had yet to take a loss. The victory for one of them there would have them join Space Station Gaming as one of the other 2 teams alongside the 3-0 scorer in an opportunity now to go on to Stage 4. But I see that you're excited, Itsu. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I'm checking right now just the live stats kinda, and Martial Warlord just got to 99%. This means they are out. 1 building, and it was just not enough. 14-15. They would have had the time on their side, but just this 1 building is not enough. At the same time, Repotted going to win their match 14-12, so they're going to stay alive in the tournament. But just this Blind Esports versus Martial Warlord match, this was just incredible. 14 stars and 199% attack, and they're out because of 15 stars on the other side. While Marcos Esports beating Martial's Kiss, and this means Marcos Esports and Space Station are going to be your first 2 teams going to Stage 4 in this bracket, which might be a surprise. At least Marcos Esports, I think, might be a surprise, but they've done it in a really solid fashion with 14-13 victory versus Martial's Kiss. And oh my goodness, I mean, this round got a lot of surprises. This round got a lot of insane results overall, because, I mean, for example, another match, Vengeful Noobs lost with 11 stars versus TWOB with 11 stars as well, but they have gotten 299% back-to-back to finish off the match, but they have won on percentage. So some crazy match, and I think Max is going to join us soon as well, right?
Excellent. Yeah, I'd love for him to come back. And because we just did report the victory for Marcos Esports as a team moving on to Stage 4, let's give all appreciation, credit, and congratulations to the lineup from Marcos Esports, the 5 players who will be advancing to Stage 4 undefeated with a 3-0 record in this stage. They are Amar Gupta, Vedant, MWC, Pritish, and Mr. Adil. These 5 players on the Marcos Esports lineup will be moving on with an opportunity to go to Helsinki, Finland if they just get 1 more victory in Stage 4.
Yes,
Maxi, you're back
exciting
with us.
matches.
What has drawn your attention?
What's up, guys? I'm happy to be back, and of course, I have been following all the matches, all the action, because honestly, those matches made it hard to look away, especially the one you guys were casting. An insane performance by Space Station. Congratulations to them. Another perfect war, and as you said before, their consistency is just so impressive, and a well-deserved spot for them in the stage 4 competition next weekend. But also the other matches you were just talking about. Marcos Esports, you just called them out. They also secured their spot, holding back Marshall's Kiss. And Marshall's Kiss actually got the 2-star in the last attack, but it didn't matter because Marcos Esports, they were able to triple out. But Marshall's Kiss, they are still in a good position. They have a 2-1 record, and now they still have another shot, actually 2 shots to make it to next weekend. So very excited about the matchups. I also want to emphasize what Queen Walkers did. They just had a 99% fail, and the others were triples. So getting their first victory actually today in their second victory in style. So now they are also in a position to go to the next weekend. And something else, SG Tristella and Kurd Region. You said it before, SG Tristella had a 1-star, but still they managed to win 11-11 on percentage. So they are also 2-1 now. So maybe a possible opponent for Queen Walkers. We will have to wait and see when the round 4 matches are live. And they are, guys. We have the round 4 matches, Itsu.
Yeah, I'm already checking right now to see what matches we can present to the production, what we would like to watch. Right now, if you do not want to double any teams, I mean, we're trying to cover as many different teams as possible, just so you know out there. I would say Vengeful Noobs versus Blind Esports would be a great one. Blind Esports just beating Martial Warlords with 15-14, so incredible close match. And Vengeful Noobs earlier already had the 15-star match as well, so that might be a good match which we could cover. I mean, otherwise there's a lot of good matches, so it's really hard to pick, but at least those 2 teams, we have not covered them yet. What do you guys think?
I also think that TWOB against Queen Walker Stephanie, but we already have seen them, so I agree with you that one of the deciding matches on the bottom side of the bracket would now be very interesting, because these teams have to fight with all they have to staying in the competition. So I agree, Vengeful Noobs against Blind Esports, or maybe GS against Kurd Region, also a nice one. But as you said it, Blind Esports just really showing what they had with the 15-star war, so I think they should be a team that is definitely worth covering. But maybe you guys can also let us know in the chat which teams you would like to see. And what about you, Woody? What do you think?
Absolutely, I think that would be a great idea. And I won't weigh in too deeply on which match to watch up next, but I do want to honor the glorious dead, those champions who will be resting in Valhalla, having been eliminated in Stage 3. We didn't get a chance to see them, but let's shout out Valor Gaming, defeated by Repotted Gaming in this 3rd stage. Their lineup includes Bucknuts, Christoph, Coleman, Davey, and Ellie. And then in addition to Valor Gaming, we also saw the defeat of Martial Warlord by Blind Esports in a tough 14-15 match. The Martial Warlord lineup includes Kartik, Nikelios, Kadil, Fabian, and Harupt. So well done to them. They'll be finishing in the money as our top 20 teams in this year's event will all score prizes. It's going to be a $5,000 award for our 19th and 20th placing teams. And as we move on to round 4, those matches that you've already mentioned, guys, I'm very excited to see the teams that we haven't watched yet, which would give us an opportunity in that 1 and 2 bracket to go maybe see GS versus Kurd Region. I think that would be a particularly good one. I'm also seeing over in chat that there's some excitement about seeing Queen Walker Stephanie versus TWOB. Inquisition is another team that we haven't yet seen that is in the upper bracket with an opportunity to face off against Vanguard Gaming, a squad that we saw in the 2nd round. So lots of great matches all around. I guess maybe I would prefer to see teams that manage to score a perfect war, all else things being equal. I like to see squads that are putting up good performances on the day of the showing. So send it back to you guys and let's discuss what we should see next.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Vengeful Noobs against Blind Esports 1 is going to be very exciting. Strong offense on both sides and both struggling to stay in the competition. So a deciding one, I think that will be really, really cool to watch. But we've talked about the offense before our last match, actually. We said that Vanguard and Space Station both went perfect. But then Vanguard only managed to score, how many, 12 stars, I think it was?
Yes.
Or 13. At least they couldn't keep up with the performance before. And Itsu, interestingly, they used a lot of ground-based attacks, and all of those were fails. And Woody, you also said it. Why are they not choosing the aerial types of attacks? Because they tend to be more popular among the professional players. So it's, what do you think is the reasoning behind that, and why did it maybe not work?
That's a tough question. I feel like overall it has worked in the past for them. So maybe it was just a bit unfortunate on some things. I mean, the Super Bowl attack, the Super Bowlers just disappeared. That's sometimes how it works, right? If they're stacking on top of each other, the healers are not transitioning over, and then the eagle shots are coming in. This is like a really quick downfall. And I think on the Super Witch attack, I think the opening was incredible. The lightnings, the flame thing, everything looked incredible. But then the Queen and some of the healers with the Super Witches splitting off to the wrong side and really causing a lot of trouble. So I feel like the plans really did not go as intended, and this then is where things were falling short. So I feel like it's not really based on, okay, this was because of ground. It's almost like because things were like going the wrong direction as well. And I feel like that's really where we have to give huge props to the base building team of Space Station, because they have done such a phenomenal job of keeping teams, which, as we have said in the match before, getting 15 stars, and then when they're playing against them, it's 12 stars. So this is just really solid defense, and I feel like it's really impressive, them showcasing that not only offense but defense as well. They are looking really strong right now. I feel like the strongest team out of all of the teams which are left in this competition, but I cannot wait. I mean, that's why all of those teams are in this stage, because they have the quality of competing versus the best. So I think any team can still like turn it around, get the reverse sweep, and still make it happen to qualify in the next stage, Woody.
Yeah, interesting that you mentioned the defense.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Of Space Station. Was just going to pop out another stat from Chase the Ace that I just had an eye on, because they actually had the best defense in the last stage as well, Space Station, and they are continuing to having that good defense. So that's going to be very interesting, and I'm also sure that the 4 already qualified teams for the World Championship are on the lookout of how they can approach these Space Station gamings. I mean, these guys are so good on offense, but now that their bases are also so good, what can you do against them in the World Championship? So that's something I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah, the World Championships is a tournament of champions. The 4 teams that have already qualified with the golden tickets, having advanced from the Queso Cup, 2 of them, 1 from Clash Masters and 1 from the Snapdragon Pro Series. Each of these teams had to face off against dozens of opponents and triumph valiantly in super grueling multi-week bracket formats. In the case of the Snapdragon Pro Series, it was a global event with teams from North America, Europe, and India also all competing from so many different continents. It boggles the mind that we've got so many different teams competing from all of these different regions. But we now finally will have another opportunity to crown a world champion, but only if they can best and surpass the other squads that have been able to come up right alongside them. We now only have 12 teams remaining in Stage 3. Since 2 are advancing and 2 have been eliminated, this tight middle ground now has no more undefeated teams, and also no more teams that have yet to get a win. These are the squads whose fate hangs in the balance of these next 2 matches, all that they've been working for over weeks leading up to this, the skills that they have honed, the practice, the base building. The drama really hits maximum at round 4, where we've got so many teams who are just neck and neck, barely able to triumph over one another, but not just yet able to convincingly get that victory. I think we finally will now see that for 3 more teams who will be moving on. If I were to give predictions, which I am somewhat loath to do, but I think that it's always fun to give it a shot, and if we've got a little bit of time, maybe you guys would want to hop in there as well. Out of the top bracket between Marshall's Kiss and SG Tristella, I want to give a tip of the hat to Marshall's Kiss. I think that they've got the better chance of winning that one, having picked up Perfect Wars today, and even going up against a team that has maybe a more well-renowned name. I think that their performance here has been surging forward. The next one between Inquisition and Vanguard Gaming, I'd call a little bit more evenly matched and difficult to pick out one, but if I were leaning one way or the other, I guess I'd say Vanguard Gaming on this one, having also taken an opportunity to move up into this stage. They've really made the most of this opportunity and have been pushing hard so far today. And then the last one down at the bottom between Queen Walker Stephanie and TWOB, I think I've got to say the Queen Walkers have got the edge on this one. The experience that they've shown and the tight matches that they had earlier today against Space Station Gaming really gives me the tip of the hat in their favor. But for those 3 matches, Maxi on the top, which teams are you taking?
Okay, so for the first one, I would agree with you that Marshall's Kiss on paper would have the better chance against SG Tristella, but you have to remember that Marshall's Kiss just got a loss, while SG Tristella just got a win to get to this final match. And SG Tristella, I think they already deemed themselves with the loss there because they had the 1-star, but somehow they still were able to turn it around and make it out. And even though they just scored 11 stars, I feel like the momentum and the psychological side is also of importance here. So I would say SG Tristellas for this one. Then I agree with Queen Walker Stephanie because they are just consistent today, scoring 14 stars every single war. And we have seen their attacks. They left no doubt they were overkill. So it's hard to pick against them, in my opinion. But then with the last one in the upper bracket still remaining, Vanguard and Inquisition, I would pick Inquisition because they haven't been as consistent. They got 11 stars earlier, but in the last one, they scored 15 stars. So another perfect war. And I think that gives them a very good shot. And again, the momentum, they come with the victory, while Vanguard just lost against Space Station. What about you, Itsu?
It's a tough call, but I think on the first one, I would go as well with Maxi. Like the Tristella team looked really strong overall, and they have the momentum, which is quite a big deal, especially in those longer tournaments. Like when you have a long tournament going on, the momentum is something which keeps you energized. So I feel like that's really something important. The second match, Inquisition versus Vanguard, I think that's a tough one. It's both German teams which are having ups and downs. I think it's really nearly impossible to predict because they're quite inconsistent, both scoring 15 stars, sometimes they're down to 12 stars, so it's really inconsistent. So I feel like it's really hard to judge. It's like, I think, coming down to the first attacks within that match. Like the first team, which is maybe having a huge defense, is going to have a huge momentum swing. So I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor. Overall, I would say as well, hard to call. I would go with Inquisition, but as I said, to me, it's just like a coin toss between those two. It's really close. And then the next one, I mean, it's hard to bet against Queen Walkers, Stephanie. I think they're just so good. And so far, only Space Station were able to beat them. So I think that is for sure something to keep in mind over there. And I think before we go into the lower bracket, let's take a quick look at the roadmap, because all of those teams have already played a lot of different stages within this tournament and within overall this competition, because this is quite a long road. You can see overall 4 stages. We have started with the mind-blowing 11,000 clans, 11,000 teams entering the ladder stage 1. You have to play 60 matches, and then the top 64 teams of that have gotten into stage 2. That's where the double elimination was, and that's what we have gotten then from 64 teams down to 16 teams. Those 16 teams now started into the Swiss stage, into the stage 3. This is where we are at today. We have already lost 2 teams because they have already lost 3 matches, and we have already 2 teams getting to stage 4 with Marcus Esports and Space Station. And then we have next weekend the double elimination once again. We are going down from 8 teams to 4 teams. And those 4 teams, after those 4 stages, those are the 4 teams who are going to join the 4 golden ticket winners to play at the end of the month in Helsinki for this crazy prize money. But I think after that, we should take a look at the lower bracket, right? You guys have said it already. The lower bracket has 3 matches as well. And we have Reported Gaming versus Affiliate eSports. I will just make it a quick one. I think Reported Gaming, even though they were going down to the lower bracket quite quick. GS versus Kurd Region. I think GS, even though they were quite inconsistent, I think I would just go with GS because I know how strong they can be. And then the last match, Vengeful Noobs versus the Blind Esports guys. I feel like this is the match which we're going to stream. It's already confirmed, so that's going to be the match which we are going to broadcast. I feel like it's a really close match as well, but I think I would just go with Blind Esports because you have said it, Maxi. Momentum is so important right now, so I would give it to them. They just scored 15 stars. They just won 15 to 14, which is a huge momentum boost. So I feel like they are going to have the upper hand. But let's go back to Woody. Woody, what would you think about those lower bracket matches?
Well, the lower bracket matches I see between Vengeful Noobs and Blind Esports, most likely a victory for Blind Esports. I feel like Vengeful Noobs have done pretty well through the days so far, but Blind Esports picking up the total perfect war rather in that last round. If we talk about momentum, that has got to be the biggest boost of momentum that you could expect. We also have got GS versus Kurd Region, and I'm pretty confident on this one. It's going to be GS. In fact, Kurd Region has been relatively inconsistent, and though they've made an impressive run up here into the Stage 3 with a 1-2 record now and facing off with some relatively low star scores even on their losses, having just picked up 11 stars only in their last war. I feel like GS has got a bit more experience and the history is on their side. And then the final round is going to be between Reported Gaming and Affiliate eSports, and I feel like this is the toughest one in this bottom bracket. Affiliate eSports is a crew that you can really never underestimate. They're a team that always seems to somehow make it into the top levels of events, and they consistently seem to surprise and upset, which is sort of strange to say because if they're consistently doing it, you wouldn't expect that it would be a surprise. But they seem to outperform the stats somehow. They had a 3-4 record and managed to be in the top half of the Snapdragon Pro Series European region, taking wins off of teams that no one ever really thought that they were going to get victories off of. They seem to always be contenders, but never really reaching for the top this year, especially relative to last year when we saw the Affiliate lineup get to the semifinals. Then they're up against Reported Gaming, a squad that we thought might just be eliminated, but instead has managed to hold on with a victory. And having been the 5th seed, or I believe they were in the top seeding, maybe even they were seed number 2. Anyways,
Second.
a really high seeding team. Yeah, seed number 2 from Stage 1. They're both really strong. I feel like I'm going to be tipping a little bit toward Reported Gaming this time, but I could easily see it go the other way.
Okay, I mean, you guys said all the important things, so I'm going to make this quick. I think GS wins over Kurt. I think Blind Esports wins over Vengeful Noobs. And I also agree, I think Reported will win against Affiliate Esports. But at this point, we are going to say goodbye to Itsu, who is going to take a look at the stats during the matches and give us some shout outs for interesting things that are happening. And we're going to see you back after this one. All right, there he goes, and it's just the two of us.
All right, Maxi, we are going to get into this next war very briefly. Help me, please. Tell us about the two teams that are competing up next. I believe that we picked a team that was, rather a match that was in the bottom bracket, right, with 1 win and 2 losses. Did we decide on Vengeful Noobs versus Blind Esports?
Exactly, that's the one that we are going to cover now, guys. So if you want to take a look at the other matches, take a look at the tournament hub for you guys at home if you want to see what is going on. But for us, this is the match that we're going to be focusing on, and we're also going to tell you in between the matches a little bit about the stats of the other matches, how they are evolving and developing, and if Woody, Itsu, or me have had the best recommendations for who will win. Now we're going to see Vengeful Noobs against Blind Esports. Blind Esports, they put up the perfect war in the last one with their backs against the walls against Marshall Warlord, winning by just 1 building. So that was a very, very impressive run by them. So that's why I guess all of us thought that they will have the upper hand most likely. Vengeful Noobs, however, they won with an 11-11 score. So 4 stars left. So talking about momentum, it is definitely on not on Vengeful Noobs' side in this one, but the cards are shuffled again, Woody, now with the first attack, because this will decide the momentum for this war. And we can see Blind Esports kicking it off here with another ground-based attack with the Super Bowler Smash, Woody. And I'm excited to see how he will take on this box space here, because box spaces are usually very, very hard to attack.
Yeah, I think the best thing that we can say about Vengeful Noobs is that they did score a perfect war in round 1 up against Martial Warlord. However, since then, it's been a bit of a downhill trudge for them, trying to stay up on top, but not yet able to get that second victory. Blind Esports is going to be a fearsome foe for them to have to struggle against in this 4th round of the 3rd stage. Barsan now for Blind Esports, as you mentioned, with a Super Boulder Strike, and going to be backing that up with a couple of Witches to provide some more marathon performance here, trying to go the distance with a really long-range strike out of the gate. This is a strange combination for me to see, though, both a slow start with the Lava Launcher and an army that is slow to follow up with the Super Boulders. I have very little confidence, to be quite honest, that this can get the 3 stars in 3 minutes. But if there's a way to do it, Barsan will try to show us. He's got the Earthquake spells now to crack through the walls over on the left side and get an activation for that Town Hall. So inching ever closer toward victory, but with 1 minute already down and out, he's going to have to go lickety-split if he wants to get through the rest of this space in time.
Absolutely, you just said it. Time is of the essence in this type of attack, but I honestly really like the approach, because the Flame Flinger can eventually take on this Town Hall, which is already activated by the Earthquake spell, and it is really about how good this push can get through the core of the base. First jump, oh, it's just one jump spell. So the jump spell already deployed, the king cornering out at the edge there with the Royal Champion following in between. But now I don't think this timing is ideal for him, because the troops are in the Town Hall, in the deadly Town Hall damage zone, but the Flame Flinger has not taken the Town Hall out yet. So interesting to see how the troops will get through the base. But the bowlers are pathing around the Town Hall. That is important for him here.
Time is running out. He's going too slow. The clock is ticking away. There's not very many more ways to say this, to just communicate how Barsan really needs to go fast, fast, fast in these last 48 seconds. I will give him credit and say that I think he's done more in the time that he had so far than I was expecting. And with just 40 seconds left, this one actually might even just come down to the wire. He's holding on to that Royal Champion ability, which can give a lot of boost to this army that's just on the last stage of the attack. Gets all those damage dealing defenses down, and in fact he has blitzed toward the end, hopping over the walls, and with 25 seconds left, the casters have been proven wrong. Barsan's Super Bowler army has just demolished this base with a triple for Blind Esports. He's making me look blind out here. Maxi, I don't know what to say, except I feel a little bit embarrassed for underestimating the power of that last assault.
Honestly, I wouldn't have thought that as well. As you said, he blitzed through the base. Like, this was such a quick assault there in the end. I wouldn't even have thought so. I mean, I think we've seen other ground-based strategies like the Super Witches before, where the troops did split in a very bad way for the attacker, but this time it was very advantageous that his queen helped with the Town Hall, and some of the bowler bounces got onto the Town Hall as well, taking it down quicker without just having the Flame Flinger deal with it. And then his bowlers went around the outside with the help of the Royal Champion and the spells he had left, and that made this very quick, because like the troops were dealing symbiotic damage. So just as many troops in a position as you needed, and not all of them clumped up or something like that. And that's what made this attack very, very quick, and even quicker than we expected. And I don't think that you have to be embarrassed. That it was actually not expectable that it would go that quickly. So very, very good job to Barsan starting it off. But Vengeful Noobs' turn now, and Nazmul coming in with a dragon attack, Woody. And he's got a clone spell in there as well.
Interesting follow-up here. A big spell investment with that clone, but when the chimes are ringing, you best be singing for victory, because that is a huge offensive boon. Ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee, CEO, as Nazmul is going to send in as many dragons as he can fit in that army camp. big tornado trap is going to trigger on that battle blimp, and right as soon as they come on out, these balloons are having a lot of trouble not pathing directly toward the town hall. It does barely go down there with those super minions helping out a little bit more, but man, that was a long haul to get all the way there for the town hall kill. Dragons along the bottom side now are focusing their firepower on the bottom corner. We expect to see a freeze spell go out to help deal with that air defense. There it is. Big Tesla farm pops up there, though, and that could be tricky for Nazmul to deal with, still having to face off against another air defense and a scatter shot on that left side compartment.
Yes, absolutely. But so there was a super minion blimp there with the clone and the invisibility spells, but there were all the red mines stacked between these two Inferno towers. So I think that this was supposed to be a bait for this attack. They wanted exactly that to be done by the attacker. And Nazmul did it, but he executed it perfectly, so it was no problem. But now we have to see if he can get through the back end of the attack. And yeah, I was just about to say it is essential that the Royal Champion takes out the air defense. But look at that. 5 dragons, a Dragon Rider, the Warden still alive, even the Royal Champion. And apparently Nazmul is not someone to get baited. In fact, nice try here by Blind Esports with baiting that attack, but this is still an absolute overkill, and congratulations to Nazmul with the exact right answer to the first triple from Blind Esports. Now we are again in an equal playing field, both having 1 3-star.
And holding on to a bonus freeze at the end of that, lots of extra dragons to finish off that base. A cleverly designed defense to try to trap out that sort of style hit. But if you get the perfect design for your attack and manage to execute it perfectly, there seems to be no problem for a guy like Nazmul. No fool. With the 3 stars on the line, it is going to be an even-handed start for these two teams. Remember, elimination is possible for either one of these teams that gets defeated in this round, while still 2 victories are necessary for one of the squads down here on the bottom in order to be able to move on toward stage 4.
Yep, and we're going to have to see if Blind Esports can manage to keep on tripling. They started off with a triple, and in the last war, we remember, they only had 3-star attacks. So they scored 15 stars, the perfect war, and we'll have to see if Chetan can keep the streak alive as he's coming in with a Queen Charge Lalo consisting of only 17 balloons. So that means that with a couple of coconut balloons for his healers to protect them from secret air mines, he will end up having like 15 balloons for the Lalo, which is not a lot. It's actually way fewer than we usually see, so it's going to be interesting to see how that will evolve throughout the attack. But he started off with the Battle Blimp, luring out the Clan Castle and taking out the Multi-Inferno, and also creating a funnel for the Queen, so she can make her way into this Scatter Shot and Enemy Queen compartment now, Woody.
Yeah, I mean, relative to Lalo's strikes that have been bringing upwards of 30 balloons, it almost feels like Chetan's attack is going to be focused instead on this Queen Charge, loading her up with as many healers as he feels necessary, and also even bringing 4 headhunters with maybe a Valkyrie out in front to help soak for them to take down heroes along the outer edge, which might otherwise be a problem. He's already knocked down the enemy Queen with his own on that bottom right section, but still seeing the enemy Royal Champion deep within the base might be a good target for those headhunters once they loop around to the top side. It's going to be a king versus king challenge here now, but with the Royal Fist, he's going to be able to pummel his opposition. It is Reg's side by Chetan as he will now set up for these balloons. Still yet to be deployed, even though he's got the Lava Hound out. He is now getting the setup complete, and here they come. Multi-target Inferno right next to the Eagle Artillery is going to be no problem at all for the Archer Queen, but keep an eye on that single target Inferno. Need to make sure that that Royal Champion stays alive. There it is, the freeze to keep her on target. Gets the shield toss, and that is a tower destroyed, Maxi.
Wow, I mean, this attack is so wild, to be honest. It's designed exactly for this base. He just sent the Hound to trigger traps, and he wasn't even planning on the Hound to tank too much for his balloons. But look at this Queen Charge with the wall breakers. He opened so much of the base that she can make her way all around the base towards the back end. And this is already a 3-star. He's got even an invisibility spell left that he doesn't need. I mean, use it for the. It's basically a swag and a Queen invisibility spell here onto the Vengeful Noob CC, and that was just a beautifully planned out attack here. With 36 seconds on the clock, he is finishing off. So it was a rather quick one as well. And I'm just impressed by this attack from Chetan. And I feel the confirmation that we chose the right war to cast here.
Yeah, I think so too. 3 attacks and 3 triples so far. Oftentimes we do see the fails kind of starting to come in the mid stages of the war when they're faced off against bases that they don't feel so quite confident against. But nonetheless, I'm feeling happy that these two teams have had some airtime now and an opportunity to go up against each other when the stakes are high, with all the attention right focused directly onto them. I didn't manage to see over in the Twitch chat whether or not we had a poll tipping one side or the other, but are you still feeling confident about your prediction for this match, Maxi?
So far it looks pretty equal between both of the teams, so tough to say, but I think I said blind esports and now they are 2 for 2. So yeah, I still feel confident, but of course anything can happen in this one, and Joker now has to keep up with what blind esports are showcasing so far, and he's coming in with another queen charge attack, but this time we're not going to see the lava hounds in combination with the balloons. We're going to see the dragon riders, and the special thing about them is that they don't need any spell support. I mean, it's nice to have a free spell or maybe even a spare rage to make them do more damage and make them move quicker, but it is not necessary, unlike for Lalo, because these balloons themselves are so slowly that they always need the support of the spells. In this case, he can focus entirely on his queen charge, so it's going to be interesting to see how much value he wants to get, and the answer is right there on the board, the log launcher coming in, and that means he wants to charge all the way to the town hall and Woody between 2 single target infernos. That's quite a risk.
Risky play, but with a log launcher to help guide the way, he won't have to worry about walls, and as long as the DPS can get stacked up with rage spells here, Joker ought to have an easy time. He's even going to get CC troops from this log launcher out in front of the queen, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that Inferno Tower burning her up. Doesn't get the kill with those rocket loons, though, thanks to the pushback from that air sweeper, but knocks down the first Inferno Tower. Lock is good on the queen. That's going to force out something to protect her. It's going to be an invisibility spell this time. He gets the lock on the enemy Inferno Tower, and Joker is cleared for a landing on this Town Hall now. Will pop it down with no problem at all, and has set up for those Dragon Riders along the top side of the base, getting support from that Grand Warden, and might even have a Barbarian King ready to charge in over there. Nope! In fact, he's going to go down over on the bottom right, cracked through the walls. Very sneaky there with the wall breakers, and we'll be able to take down that enemy air defense. Maybe even get some damage off into the scatter shot, or take a shot at the enemy Archer Queen as well, Maxi.
Yes, nice push there. The king got targeted by a headhunter coming out of the CC there for a second, but still manages to do the job of taking out the scatter shot, and now he basically just has to get through the couple of buildings in the core of the base. But with the with all the dragon riders he has left there, I don't think he's going to have a hard time here. The Royal Champion takes out the enemy hound, Queen pops the ability, and you see, Woody, troops are staying up, but defenses are getting taken down one by one, and this attack is unstoppable.
As the dominoes fall, nothing is left standing for Garakuta's base, as Joker has just demolished it one click at a time. Perfectly planned out attack by Joker. Sometimes you gotta kind of cross your fingers, hold your breath, and pray. Other times you've got just such a good plan that you already know what's gonna happen before you even hit attack. This seems like one of the latter, as Joker gets such an overwhelming victory that I really gotta hand it to him here. Blind esports are in a bind now, as the Vengeful Noobs have come back with another triple to keep this war evenly matched, Maxi.
Yes, and talking about evenly matched, I want to tell you guys at home a little bit about the other wars that are going on, because a lot of them are evenly matched as well. In fact, all of them are matched by stars. We have Queen Walker Stephanie against TWOB, and both of them are 2 out of 2, so 6 stars from 2 attacks. Then we have Blind Esports, that's the one we're watching. We have Kurt Region against GS, both of them 6 stars, 2 out of 2. Then we have Marshall's Kiss against SG Tristella, and they both have 5 stars. A little bit of percentage differential, but everything's still open. And then we have Reported against Aphelion, and this one is 4 and 4, but a Phalion with a 1-star and a 3-star reported with 2 2-stars.
Oh!
So a game of defense right there. But now let's focus back on our war at hand. Here we have Garakuda coming in with the next attack for blind esports, and we see another Queen Charge hybrid Woody. And we're going to have to see if this time it works better than last time in the war that we had before.
Yeah, this is going to be a minor heavy Queen Charge, so you might expect to see a few Hogs just targeting only key defenses that need to go down. There's only one multi-target Inferno right there in the core of the base, but that is going to be a very fearsome target to have to finish off. Otherwise, Garakuta is hoping to get some nice value out on this outer edge using an Archer Queen unsupported by healers. So instead, here they come finally to protect their queen. You get the poison spell on top of that Lava Hound pop, and this is going to be an easy entry now for Garakuta. Spending quite a bit of time here early on, but time shouldn't be too much of a factor for a hybrid army. It's more often going to be that splash damage on defense that causes them to go down.
Yes, absolutely. But what is very important here, from my opinion, is that he managed to get good pathing with the initial battle blimp with the Yetis inside. He lured out the clan castle. The queen took care of it, and he created a pathing for the hybrid, which will come on in from the 12 o'clock side of the base. He's doing a beautiful wall break for the queen, and also luring the tornado trap with the coconut moon there, perfectly done. And then he funnels at the 12 o'clock side, and he's coming in with the hybrid push. So a lot of things happening at the same time. I can barely talk about all of these things at the same time, but this guy has to do all of these things at the same time, deploying spells, deploying troops, and all of that stuff. But it's looking good. Woody, Warden ability force. I think he can have a good push here.
They say he's blind, but he must use the Force to see all of these targets at the same time. Even got a lot of value from that baby dragon burping alone out on the bottom left side of the base. We see a Tesla farm pop up now on the bottom right side, and that's kind of bad news for Garakuta, since it means that he's going to have to face off against a lot of concentrated firepower in that corner. Doesn't have any more spells or abilities to help out those troops, just needs to rely on this Royal Champion. Can she get the shield toss off onto all of these Teslas? She can one-shot the Teslas with that shield. Very powerful ability, but doesn't seem like she's going to use it quite yet. There it goes. Okay, gets most of them. One Tesla still standing, but it looks like she's done just quite enough. Garakuta's forces is looking for the cleanup now on the final edge of this base. The bottom corner has just been crushed. He looks easily ready for that 3-star, unless I'm missing some sort of building far off and away. It looks like those are the last two, and with the pumps now jacked, this is going to be the triple for Garakuta.
Wow, no less than we expected from those teams. 5 attacks and 5 3-stars. So I'm not going to talk about something I talked about earlier to not jinx it, if you know what I'm talking about. This was a beautiful attack. And he had just enough, in fact. Like, it got so close there towards the end. He didn't have any more spells, as you said, but the queen was just able to survive the double fire from the ground expo and the cannon, and then took out a couple of valuable defenses and also valuable buildings, because time got pretty close there towards the end. But also the Royal Champion just being able to take care of the scatter shot and the Tesla farm. Perfectly planned out attack. It just worked out well for him, and they are still perfect. And also I want to add the last match that I couldn't talk about between the attacks was Inquisition against Vanguard Gaming. I'm not sure. I think this should be for the spot for next weekend, and both of these teams are perfect as well, 6-6. But now, next attack already on the way. Woody, fill us in. What's happening?
This strike from Diego seeks to tie this war up again between Vengeful Noobs and Blind Esports. Diego has brought in a double Lava Hound, big, super heavy balloon force here with no healers to support. But the early strike here now with this Battle Blimp right into the core of the base is going to take down a big chunk of the defenses that Diego would have otherwise had to worry about. Good pathing as well now, as he's got this kind of C-shaped pattern now from the bottom corner, and can potentially go counterclockwise with a strike first at this Eagle artillery, and then find some more juicy hits inside, including an air defense. Gets the CC lure down as well, and that Lava Hound should slow but not cause any major problems here. He's getting his setup ready now for this Laloon strike, expecting to see it come in kind of maybe from over on either the bottom right to loop counterclockwise or the left corner there where there's still an air defense near the outside edge to go clockwise. But it's going to be a kind of risky play either way because he's going to have to deal with that Town Hall on a second stage of the hit. All right, he's going to come from the bottom right.
Yeah, I think he's going to add the Royal Champion here on the right side, and then he's going to Lalo the Town Hall from the 1 to 12 o'clock side. But what I found really interesting was that he used a clone spell with his Yeti Blimp. So it was a cloned Yeti Blimp with the Rage and the clone spell to get even more value, and I think it worked out fine because especially he got the centered look at this, Royal Champion at the left side, but he got the centered Expo out of the way. Now Queen taking out the scanner shot, wow, with the last shot.
Barely.
That was close. So now I think he's actually going to come in from more the 11 o'clock side of the base with the Lalo. Or is it just a small Lalo for the Town Hall maybe?
I feel like I would have been even happier just to see him add another Ice Golem over onto that right side corner so that he could take down the air defense. Now without a Queen and sacrificing heroes all around, he's going to really rely heavily on this Lalo strike. He hasn't yet taken the Town Hall down yet though, Maxi!
Yes, that is looking shaky there. Come on, one Loon, drop.
Oh.
There we go, wow. I don't really know what he did there because he came in heavy from the left side and then used the Warden ability for just 2 Loons and the freeze spell on the left side. He could have just frozen the Town Hall and used the Warden ability to protect his balloons on the left side. I don't know if something went wrong or if he had it planned out differently and tried to quickly adapt or do something on the fly. But it looked very weird to me to do this kind of split Warden ability for both of the Lalo troops and then covering just 2 to go, or just 1 to go in the direction of the Town Hall. But Woody, that's it. The first fail, the first 2-star of the war, and what looked so good for so long, unfortunately, fell short in the end.
Well, hats off to the Blind Esports crew, especially their base builder, as Choco will now hold the Vengeful Noobs at bay, trying to keep their lead. Now they will have to return fire with a 3-star of their own if they want to edge on ahead. It's always a bit more daunting to be the attackers to begin with, because you now have the necessity to lead with a 3-star follow-up. But nonetheless, we still have an opportunity for either one of these teams to advance with 2 more attacks left for both of them. And neither one of them yet really clinching it. But I think that we can very confidently now say that with the Vengeful Noobs picking up that last one, it's going to be a harrowing finish for both squads. Only 4 attacks left, Maxi.
Yes, absolutely, and anything can happen. 87% is not that low of a 2-star. So if Blind Esports now slip as well, they might fall short after the next 3-star from Vengeful Noob. So anything can happen. Pressure is still on, and Choco, I'm sure, knows that as he's taking out the core multi-inferno with 2 sweepers with a lightning and earthquake combination there. And this is very interesting. Look at the troop composition. I was wondering, why does he have so little Lalo troops when he has no support for the heroes? The reason is he's doing a combination of a Lalo and a Dragon Rider attack. He's got 4 Dragon Riders. That is 100 troop space. So I think, yeah, we're going to see yet again a plan that is perfectly designed exactly for the base at hand. And I'm excited to see where exactly Choco will come in with the Dragon Riders and where with the Lalo. But now let's focus if the Queen can take out this Town Hall without being distracted by the Lava Hound.
Big heavy CC here to have to deal with. Poison spell is down. He's got 1 more he's holding on to here. Choco ready to drop it to help deal with this Lava Hound, distracting the Royal Champion, sadly. Just taking some fire from that multi-mortar, but is otherwise safe from the scatter shot, and it's going to have to deal a little bit more damage to help finish these pups off. Holding on to that ability, ready to fire it off when she needs it most. There it goes, strikes onto a single target Inferno, and will get the invisibility spell to help her out as well. Meanwhile, Choco up on the top side has sent in just a few balloons to complement these Dragon Riders, hoping that they'll path out in front and maybe catch a Seeking Air Mine or 2. He's instead focusing most of his fire on the defenses directly now. Archer Queen goes down, Barbarian King has been banished, and now we have to focus on this right corner as balloons are going to come in to support. The cavalry has arrived with a battle blimp, interestingly, going to be coming in over the right side to go directly for that Eagle Artillery. A few balloons pop out, and it is going down, Maxi.
Yeah, this is such a well-planned attack here. Now he just has to somehow get into the back and scatter shot, but he's got 2 freeze spells left, and they will help out a ton here. Yeah, I was just about to say, he can use it at the bottom side to make sure that all of his balloons survive there with this air defense, and now just the scatter shot he has to worry about. And look at that, a beautiful balloon parade with combined with 2 Dragon Riders getting into the back end of the base, and Choco leaving no doubt once again, as the Valkyrie at the bottom side cannot decide whether to take on the Skellies or the King. I think the Skellies was a good choice, and here we go, 30 seconds on the clock as the last remaining building of this base are taken out, and Choco has done it. The next 3-star for Blind Esports, and they are not showing any weakness whatsoever.
Crushed it. Only one more attack now that Blind Esports has to go through with, and the possibility of a perfect war looming on the horizon. Very exciting follow-up for a Blind Esports crew that seemed to be down, nearly out, but is rising from the ashes with victory after potentially a second victory now against the Vengeful Noobs, who have not yet been able to keep their pace against Blind Esports. Vengeful Noobs need 2 back-to-back 3-stars if they want to have a chance to move on and have to hope and pray that there is a trip-up somewhere on the Blind Esports lineup with their 5th and final attack. Right now, it really seems like Blind have got the upper hand, upper arm, upper everything.
Absolutely. And talking about perfect wars, we have 3 more teams that are also perfect in the 6 matches at hand so far. We have Queen Walker Stephanie with 4 out of 4 triples. We have Kurt Region, also 4 out of 4. And Inquisition, 3 out of 3 triples so far. So we see the quality is even increasing here so far as the teams are getting closer to securing spots for next weekend. But now we have Elliot from Vengeful Noobs, and he basically has to triple now to keep the pressure on Blind Esports, because otherwise a 2-star would be enough for Blind Esports to secure the victory here. And once again, Woody, this one is for staying in the tournament or being out of the tournament. So that is a very, very important war right here. But so far, Elliot's Queen is doing a great job taking out the Eagle Artillery, taking out the enemy King, and making her way into the base. And I think he's going to send in the Hydra from the left side soon.
He will have to fight for his life, as this is the last chance for Vengeful Noobs to hang on to a victory hope. He's moving in hard and fast on the bottom left side now with a Royal Strike now. Dragons supported by that Grand Champion, Grand Ward, backing up with an Eternal Tome now, protecting that Battle Blimp, pathing directly toward the Town Hall. Can it dodge tornadoes? It's taken a lot of shots, but invulnerable. It makes it all the way to the target, pops those troops out with a freeze onto the Town Hall. Are they getting enough damage in, Maxi? It looks likely. The first star is secured.
Yeah, I was worried there for a second too. Also, the Queen is running low somehow. What about that? Royal Champion coming in, but she's in the Town Hall Poison now, getting closer to the single Inferno. He's got no more spells there. He's got the Queen and the Royal Champion ability though, so that really needs to carry him through the back of this base. Queen ability should be able to take out the Scanner and the enemy Queen. No, the enemy Queen stepping away, and this is getting closer and closer, but I think he still has a chance, Woody.
I'm not feeling too bullish about this. He does pop the Queen ability here, now takes down the enemy Archer Queen. It's going to be awfully close toward the end, and Air Defense is going to be able to take down that Dragon Rider without much trouble. It's just up to the 2 sisters on the final legs of this assault. Girls' Night Out, finishing off the last remaining defenses, and now they will make their charge onto the final cleanup buildings. Elliot has got 35 seconds left and a race against the clock now, as this Archer Queen is going to have to pop over walls if she wants to be able to help out this champion. She's tossing her shield. She's firing away. She's got her boombox ready. Crank up the volume. We need more damage. Little minion up top helping out against this elixir storage. She should be able to hop over walls without any problem, but the queen is not helping out at all. It's all up to this final 10 seconds, Maxi!
Come on, is it going to be a party? He's got the party royal champion beating down the last building, and they are celebrating indeed the 3-star for Elliot. What a good job. And I mean, I love these types of attacks. They are not the huge overkill we sometimes see, but they are nail biters. They are exactly what we want. We want to be hoping for the best until the very last second, and this time, fortunately, it worked out well for Elliot, and it also makes this match even more exciting because the last attacks are going to matter so much. Blind Esports can now get the win with the triple, also with the 88% 2-star. That is what they need now to secure the victory, but it is still open, so they still have the pressure of getting a good attack in, and that's what I really like to see. Also, giving you a quick update, Queen Walkers, perfect, 12 stars, and TWOB, 11 stars, but with a 99% fail. So just one slip by Queen Walkers, and they might lose. And the same, actually, between GS and Kurd Region. Kurd Region, 4 out of 4, GS, 3 out of 4 with a 99% 2-star. So that really shows how insanely close these teams are at this stage. But now, Woody, let's focus once again on Blind Esports as CEO is coming in for potentially the winning attack.
Traps triggering all aplenty. CEO attacking Nazmul with so many balloons at the left corner. They were all necessary, it turns out. Good read on the base defensive setup there by CEO, and with the battle blade making all the way in, the Rocket Loons are going to crash onto some big defenses there in the core. I guess he wasn't trying to target all the way onto the Town Hall, but nonetheless does get the CC pull out there, and with a poison spell should be able to finish off the rest of those troops with an Archer Queen. Doesn't get any support from healers this time, but will get an extra Ice Golem to toss onto the mix there and get some more damage. Meanwhile, little Baby Dragon, alone and undisturbed, is going to have some pretty easy access to a lot of free structures on the left side. Top corner is going to be a big hero charge now as the Barbarian King makes his way on in, but getting heated up by that Inferno Tower. Even his coterie of supporters will not be enough to keep him alive all the way throughout this strike. CEO's hero dive out the beginning is going to have to set up for a mighty impressive follow-up. Nice Invis spell there, keeping that queen on target, focusing right back up onto the top side. She's got a jump spell. Can she get over to the Town Hall?
Oh. I think this NATO might even come in handy here, but I'm not sure if the queen will take the jump or go to the scatter shot. This we have to. She's going to the scatter shot, and he doesn't have any more invisibility spells now. Uh-oh. Not what you want to see. Yeah.
Brutal follow-up for CEO, and Blind Esports are now shaking their heads, wondering if this is still going to be enough to get the victory now. A triple from CEO would lead to a perfect war and guaranteed advancement, but the 2-star would leave Vengeful Noobs with the chance to come back from behind and serve them a dish best served cold. CEO from Blind Esports now still alive up on this top side. Somehow the Queen and Royal Champion managed to survive a bit longer. But wow, he is going to go the distance with an all-in push. Balloons on the bottom are looking for 3 stars and nothing short of it, Maxi.
Yeah, I think what he's doing is good, except I don't know if he's sending in balloons from the top side. That's what he should do in my opinion, then use freezes and hastes onto the Town Hall. Yeah, that's what he's doing there. Has another free spell and he has to take out the Town Hall, but we know, remember, he needs 88% and the Town Hall falls, and 88%, I think he's got enough around this base. The enemy queen's still alive, but there we go, 85, 86.
There it is!
And a lot of time still left, 88! And honestly, I think this can still triple.
Oh yeah, it could still triple. It's got the Lava Hound still alive, protecting those loots in the center. It pops, and the pops are going to come out and overwhelm this single target Inferno. If it had been set to multi, that might have been a different story, but as it is, the balloons are going to be uncontested. Still, time is short. They've got to knock down this clay castle. Not much left. Go, Sneaky Goblin! Go, Headhunter!
No.
Pops! Minions! No! Blind Esports is one building short of a perfect war, but will come ahead over the top of the Vengeful Noobs, scoring that 2-star 99% in the end will ensure their advancement. Wow. And the Vengeful Noobs have been kicked out now. They will finish this war down in the, I guess, what would they be, number 18, 17, 16 range to finish out the Clash of Clans World Championship Stage 3.
Yeah, exactly. I think this should be 17th and 18th then.
Right.
Of the whole,
oh, there's 3 of them, though, so
World
it'll be
Championship.
16, 17, and 18.
3 of
3
those
teams
now?
going to be
Or
eliminated in this round.
Ah, you're right, you're right. Yeah, 16, 17, and 18, absolutely. And since we've cleared that out once again, congratulations. And I honestly, I think he's not going to care about whether it's the 99% 2-star or the 3-star, because he knows he has just secured his team the chance to stay in this and to eventually get to the next stage of the competition. And now still another attack to watch. Van 24 here, nice trap placement, found 2 black mines there with the blimp. Let's see. He hasn't lured out the enemy hound yet. Is there even a hound? I don't know, but definitely not the full CC lure here. Good traps here from Blind Esports.
Yeah, tricky start here now for Van 24, taking a few extra shots from those CC troops. A Unicorn going to barely keep the Queen alive until he finally pivots onto the healers now. Cannon firing away, but that's not going to be enough to overcome the healers. And the bottom side's going to be Yeti Mites storming on out, trying to get some additional buildings cleared out for this bottom path landing. Archer Queen takes fire as she locks onto an enemy Archer tower. Now finds a wizard tower, bomb tower. Towers are brought down all around, Maxi.
Yes, a beautiful wall break there, getting into the single Inferno. Now he just has to make sure the Queen takes it out in time. Beautiful freeze, freezing the enemy Hound as well as the single target Inferno. And now the Queen can take her time taking that out before later on taking care of the enemy Queen and the Town Hall. And he also has got 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock, so a lot of time. So he is not in a hurry. He can take his time, watch his Queen, what she will do, and then start the Dragon Rider part here in just a second. He's got one more wall break. I'm excited to see if he's trying to break the Queen to the center. He cannot do it at the moment because there is this Queen platform still in the left compartment, but let's watch the Dragon Riders coming in from the right side. Beautiful early Warden ability, now freezing up the Queen so the King can take her out with the help of the Headhunters. And his own Queen, forced ability,